we're doing is we're making sure that we are holding Martha McSally accountable when it comes to healthcare. We know it's an extremely important issue for Arizonans. We continue to see it at the top of the polls when we're doing groups. And we know that the ACA is a foundation for healthcare in this country. And we know Martha McSally has voted to repeal the ACA when she was in Congress, and we need to make sure that when we look at this upcoming November, that we can inform constituents across the state what her record is on this subject. So we've been hosting town halls. This is about our fourth. We were in Flagstaff, in Tucson, and also in Phoenix with the congressman before. And we're going to be continuing to making sure that we're hosting these events and talking with constituents across the state and making sure that we highlight Martha McSally's record. Last of all, there's just a couple of things that we're going to touch on today, which is HR 3, which is the Lower Drug Costs Now Act, which passed the House. Congressman was a strong vote there, as long with our delegation, Kirkpatrick, Tom O'Halloran, and Grijalva as well. All of them voted for HR 3 and is now awaiting action in the Senate. Also, as I mentioned, we're going to talk a little bit about the importance of town halls and the 10th anniversary of the ACA, which is coming up next month. So with that said, Congressman Gallego is going to have a lot of fun here talking about now appointed Senator Martha McSally and why we need to hold her accountable on healthcare and so many other issues. So thank you.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here and do another town hall for Martha. I actually did a town hall, I think it was about 4 years ago, in the middle of the ACA repeal debate. And I don't know if you guys remember, it was a very contentious time and there was a lot of back and forth, but the one thing we weren't getting is information from the Republicans. What was your plan? How are you going to protect people with pre-existing conditions? How are you going to make sure that premiums aren't going to go through the roof? And all we heard was, well, we're going to replace it, don't worry about it. Like, what are you going to replace it with? And certainly what we saw at that point were politicians were avoiding going and doing town halls and talking to their constituents. I have about, I would say 6 to 8 town halls per year. I think I've seen some of you guys there. Thank you so much. Those are just run by my office, and then I also obviously attend a lot of other open meetings. I feel part of being an elected official in this republic, at least while it still is a republic, that's a different story to talk about, is to be out there and answering questions. And sometimes, guess what? I'm gonna have some not great times. Sometimes I have to answer some tough questions, but that is your job. Going back to the ACA repeal, Martha was basically avoiding everybody. Did not do a town hall. She had a closed door meeting with some leaders, but that's about it. While she was about to disrupt something that takes up about a quarter of our GDP and affects hundreds of millions of lives. She did not answer any questions. She took no town hall. All we did hear about was that she was in one of the Republican caucus meetings and she said, let's get this beeping thing done, right? And since we're in a family situation, I will not swear, but you could put the two and two together, right? If you're that excited, by the way, to take away people's health care, then you should, and you're that proud that you're swearing up a storm like a Marine, I can say that, I'm a Marine, then why can't you stand before your constituents and take questions, right? If you believe that you're about to pass something that you're just pushing it hard enough, it means that you should be able to project like the aspects of it that matters. But she clearly did not. So I actually went down to Tucson and I packed a auditorium full of her constituents. This is when she was a member of Congress. And I stood there and I took questions on their behalf about the ACA and about the proposal that they had put down to replace, quote unquote, replace the ACA. And it was sad that a lot of them were really shocked about what was about to happen. And it's even more of an insult, I think, the fact that Senator McSally replaced somebody who I think was very open and always looking out for Arizona constituents in John McCain. And this kind of comes full circle. I was actually on the floor of the Senate when John McCain was the pivotal vote to protect the ACA. I happened to be working late in my office, and I realized that they were debating the ACA repeal, and I decided just to walk down because I'm kind of a loser, really don't have anything else to do. So I walked down and I met with the security guard. I'm like, oh, can I go up in the gallery? He's like, no, you could actually, you're a member of Congress, you could actually go down and see this. And to see such dedication to his constituents, it was very heartwarming. And I mean, Senator McCain and I didn't get along 90% of the time, but I also knew where his heart was, and it was always in a good spot. And he certainly wasn't afraid to take questions. And to have him replaced by somebody like Senator McSally, who doesn't talk to her constituents, doesn't defend her positions, and doesn't even really communicate to them in the most basic American foundational manner, which is the town hall, right? So now we're on year 3 of a town hall, of not having an open meeting with your constituents. I don't know how you could even do that. Like, I accidentally have town halls sometimes. Like, if you catch me at the Fry's on a weekend, like, I'm literally like, I'll talk to anybody. But like, that's the way of this job. And you purposely have to make it a committed effort for you not to have a town hall over 3 years. And the reason you're not having a town hall over 3 years is because you have nothing good to talk about, or you're ashamed of something. And now, what are we dealing with right now? Well, right now we have a series of bills that have passed the House. The most important one, in my opinion, is HR 3. I think you went a little into that. HR 3 is really a big overhaul when it comes to prescription drug costs. If I'm sure many of you guys here are dealing with some of the problems that I'm dealing with, even though I have good health insurance, the cost of prescriptions is going through the roof, right? Even as wages are starting to go up, it doesn't matter if the price of insulin jumps 50%, but your wages just went up 3%, right?